The fact of reality is, autonomous vehicles, or AVs, are coming, or in some cases are already here. And we can debate until we're blue in the face as to when that will happen on a wide scale, but what you can't argue is there are situations where, whether it's being blocked by a building, a tree, or whatever, that an autonomous vehicle can't see another vehicle on the road, or maybe even a pedestrian. So we're going to need some kind of infrastructure to warn AVs that there's a potential conflict coming.
Today, Honda R&D is proud to kind of showcase what infrastructure and how it can benefit safety moving forward. So today we're demonstrating how 4 cameras that are located here in Marysville, Ohio, at an intersection are able to detect occupants, police cars, and other vehicles, and convert those images into information that connected cars can use to increase the safety at intersections, which is a major problem in the U.S.
And Jim alludes to the reason with his comment about this being a problem, but I'm going to let Ted Klaus, the VP of Strategic Research and Technical Communication at Honda North America, explain the reason why the automaker is involved in a test like this.
There's a number of critical whys behind the demonstration. One is our long-term vision to understand what we call conflicts, collisions, unfortunately fatalities. So how do we move towards a collision-free world? And inside of that why is 20% of all collisions and fatalities related to collisions occur at intersections. So we wanted to study an intersection. We also had a big question about if you make a connected, smarter vehicle, how does it interact with a non-connected, smarter vehicle or other non-connected objects in the road, objects, participants in the ecosystem, pedestrians, someone riding a bike, motorcyclists. So those were 2 of the big questions. Collision-free, 20% of that is currently intersections. And how do we create maybe a very elegant solution, if you will, that would consider those that are connected and those that aren't connected?
The cameras are obviously kind of industrial grade cameras, but the information coming off of the cameras are fed into a computer that is able to classify what those objects are. That information is then shared with a radio, and the radio broadcasts that information to other vehicles that have connected technology in them. Then that's able to be understood by the connected vehicles, then they can take action. So in simple terms, the camera communicates to a computer, the computer communicates to a radio, and the radios exchange information to the vehicle. The information's shown on the head-up display. Again, the system's not really designed to distract you or anything. It's only if there's a conflict coming and the driver can take action. So all that happens simultaneously and in real time.
Now that we've learned a little bit about what Honda Smart Intersection Test is all about and how it works, let's take a look at what the automaker hopes to learn.
There's really 2 parts to the learning. One is technical, and the other is really not technical, and how people might understand how can we communicate the desired outcomes and how can we give people confidence in the desired outcomes. On the technical side, already we've learned a lot. We've been working since February to have the pilot deployment up. We understand issues of robustness related to weather, wind, whatnot. And from now, as we deploy, we already have 20 vehicles working, and we're moving towards 200 from Honda, and with all of our partners, over 1,000 vehicles. So by understanding those trial pilot vehicles, we can see the reaction. So every time we send out a message to the driver, how did the driver react to that? That will be data which, again, will give us confidence that we're getting the desired outcome. And then we'll go back to the non-technical side, and we'll look for ways to share that out as part of a larger community. Our end goal is to really understand this, I call it human in the loop. So there's the driver in the loop with some technology. We're trying to give them a message to make them a more intelligent driver. In order to do that, Yes, we have to have conversations with local governments, the Department of Transportations, and we should reach across and come up with a smart and elegant solution which has the highest level of effectiveness. So in many ways, it's very analogous to Honda's involvement in crash test dummy specifications. So we wanted to make vehicles safer back when we were in the era of collision safety, occupant protection. Honda worked hard on creating crash test dummies. We shared those results, and those eventually became global standards for crash test dummies. So if we can have the same effect on V2X and be part of creating these smart standards, that would make us all super excited.
So from here, Honda wants to take what it learns from the Marysville test, then eventually apply it to larger cities like Columbus, and finally across Ohio. Now, do I think this is some sort of watershed moment where autonomous vehicles will all of a sudden be able to populate our roads without any fear for safety? No, of course not. I want to know that the entire system works as intended in all conditions. I know wireless communication doesn't really care about weather, but how will the cameras perform in a heavy snow or ice storm? I believe these are questions that still need to be answered. But this is progress, and AVs are going to need all sorts of data points and redundancies, much like the airline industry, to ensure they're safe. And I commend Honda and any others who are taking these first steps.